In the role I'm in, I've learned that one of the most important things in science and also in business is really embracing failure. And it's going to sound slightly unrelated, but I'm going to tell you a story about driving one day. I was actually driving to my university, and it was a long drive. It was late at night, and I remember honestly almost falling asleep while I was driving. And it was such an interesting moment for me because it became a touchstone. Anytime I'm driving and I'm super tired now, I'll stop and I'll take a break. And that almost doing something that was horrible and would have had potentially dire personal consequences or even for other people became this moment that would kind of scare me into making sure I was responsible. So before Medidata started, I actually had a similar moment in terms of scientific ethics. And one of the things that I feel so compelled about, as I said, is making sure clinical trials work correctly. I remember literally a day looking at data. It was actually very subjective, qualitative data, and I was evaluating it for a particular study I was working on. I was thinking, yeah, if that had come out slightly differently, that might actually affect the outcomes of this study and show that something that is not effective was effective. I wonder if I can really trust that value that we had. And I just realized in the moment, it was like falling asleep at the wheel. It was this moment of almost going over a precipice, of not having real integrity and standing behind the experimental results, as subjective as they were as I'd recorded them. And any time since that moment when I've ever thought, oh, is there an issue around integrity, it's always kind of pushed me into the realm of, no, don't fall asleep at the wheel, take a break, look at what you're doing, and look at this particular failure, whether it's in a clinical trial, whether it's in a drug development program, embrace it and figure out how that galvanizes you to try something differently or try something else. And so I just, I think a trait of a lot of people who I've encountered who have been successful in life sciences is really embracing that part of what effectively is the scientific method. Everything that is a conclusion that you thought that you were going to make that you were wrong about is an opportunity to be creative and to try something new, and you just can't be afraid of them. You got to embrace them. Almost falling asleep at the wheel from an ethical perspective, from a scientific integrity perspective, it becomes a compass that you can use in terms of making sure that you're always going in the right direction in the future. And I think you actually have to have a scary moment like that before you really understand the consequences of allowing something in your personal life or in your career to go the wrong way. And I don't think I can make a bigger endorsement of embracing failure. If you don't have that moment when you really got something wrong or almost got it wrong, then you actually don't have a context to be comfortable that you know you're doing the right thing in the future. So I think what I would have told myself back then is, hey, this was actually a really important learning moment. Don't freak out about it. Don't bury it. Actually use it as that compass for everything that you do moving forward.